Hi everyone, my name is Rachel, and for this week's discussion, I will present one of my patients who's having difficulty with her marriage. I'm calling her Mary. So her name is Mary. She's a 25-year-old housewife with her highest level of education being high school. She has been married for 6 years and has 2 children. She was born and raised in Peru, but relocated in the U.S. 7 years ago upon marrying her husband, who is U.S. citizen. She self-identifies as middle class and self-referred herself to the counseling center. She comes for therapy for support since her husband verbally and physically abused her. She states that although she really wished to have an amicable relationship with her husband, but doubts that will happen. She further indicates that the situation distresses her and is afraid that the about will only escalate over time and that her children are likely to face the same abuse. Although Mary is from a loving family, her husband is from a stormy family that follows a male-dominant system, with the woman relegated to following the dictates of their husbands. She adds that she is not the only one being abused and that other women married into the family face the same sort of abuse. She has been embarrassed to tell her parents about the physical and emotional abuse she experiences. She has talked to some of her friends about the abuse, and they have advised her to seek a divorce and financial support for her children. Although Mary and her husband have been attending therapy for the last 2 months, Mary mentions that the abuse continues, while her husband insists that there is nothing wrong with the relationship and that he only disciplines her when she makes mistakes. Based on the therapy plan, it was expected that Mary's husband would have stopped the abuse as he attended therapy while looking at more acceptable strategies apart from abuse to express himself. So the interventions entails applying a behavioral strategy that involved 4 steps. The first step was to identify target actions with the intention of helping the couple to consider alternatives to the abusive expression. The husband was encouraged to not let anger take over his emotions and to first calm down before talking about any existing problems with his wife. The second step entailed determining a baseline to decipher how often the abuse occurred, and as part of safety assessment, how often the abuse involved physical violence. The third step was to assess the stages of change, in which Mary was asked why she seems to have identified a target, eliminating the physical and emotional abuse from the relationship, and yet was unable to attain this objective. She agreed that she was in the contemplation stage of thinking about her target. The final step entailed encouraging commitment to change from Mary and her husband. This step was unsuccessful since the abuse continued. The implication is that this strategy is unsuccessful, thus pointing to the need to apply an alternative strategy with graduated approximations towards the final objective. So there's a need for additional information about the client's family to improve treatment outcomes. Firstly, there's a need to evaluate the family's understanding and knowledge levels, since this could influence their choices. The choices could also have an influence on the level of respect and trust they assign to the therapist. Secondly, there's a need to evaluate personal situations that limit choices. A financially stable Mary is less likely to be abused, since she will have more choices apart from staying in the abusive relationship. Thank you.